like. Let me know. Let me know you're here, and if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Um, we're going to be doing some audits today, and just kind of wanted to see how everybody's doing. If you got your 2022 plan uh, going, and if you have any questions about planning for 2022, at least the first quarter. So we like to take things at 90-day increments here, which is an important thing to do, and I think it's good for any business to kind of take it a little shorter steps, and then put it all together for the big picture. So yeah, so drop your comments in. I've got a couple websites I'm actually going to do quick audits on, just the homepage, just to kind of see and showcase some of the things that, simple things that you can do that's going to, have probably a big impact on conversions. And so, some of these companies, if anybody knows these companies, you can tag them, tag the owners, so they can get the feedback there. I think it would greatly help them. So, anyways, comments, questions, put them in the comments. I'm going to try to get the interaction up quite a bit here during this time. So, New Year's is coming up. It's this weekend. Anybody got any big plans? Anything crazy going on? Just put it in the comments, and we'll kind of discuss it. I've got it's pretty, probably going to get together with some friends this week or this Friday, and have some fun times there, and then hopefully be able to make some big progress. I'm actually building a playhouse for my kids in the backyard, and so I'm hoping to get some progress on that thing. Lori's 16-year anniversary. That's awesome. Congrats. Big time congrats on that. That's something to definitely be proud of. Yeah, 1-year-olds can't really party. Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah. Hopefully they don't stay up too late, right? I've got a couple of younger ones as well, but they definitely give the 1-year-old a couple more years, and they'll be partying like crazy. But anyways, let's kind of get into this. So I'm going to share my screen here, and all right. So going to kind of dive in a little bit here. This is how the site kind of loads, right? So the big thing in which, the first thing I like to look at is above the fold. When we're looking at websites, above the fold on the home page, really any page is going to be the most important piece of real estate that you're going to really take advantage of. So it's important, right? And so the most important things you need to have in there is a very clear direction in what the next step you want to take people, and then that call to action. You need to explain what it is that you're doing, what the next step is, right? When I look at this, and home pages can be difficult. When you look at a product page, it's a little simpler just to kind of throw the default stuff in there, and it kind of does it for you. Yeah, Northwest Retention Systems. So they provide really great products, right? Really awesome. But when I look at this website, there's obviously a lot of things that can be done. A lot of the stuff they do is custom and stuff, so that's why their lead times is big on that. And it's great that they kind of give notification with that. But I think you're given too much room for that. The one thing I would do if this was my website is I would shorten this header quite a bit. Even if you have to, make the logo font a little bit smaller, maybe it might be good just to put a logo together to put in that place so that we can shorten that up. So realistically, this whole portion even with the navigation and everything like that should take up, it should be, look something like that. Maybe that big if you have a big notification bar on top, but really it should look more like that. And as you can see, when I do that, what's the first thing you guys notice, right? Is the products, right? And the choose options. They're actual call to action that you can see without having to scroll on the desktop. Now, if you was to bring this in to more of the mobile stance, it's a little better. You can see that things are kind of cut off and there's some weird stuff going on there. But it ends up being a lot better. So you have to, take into consideration too the customer avatar these people might be targeting. There might be a lot more people actually going on to the website to make a purchase for this. I can't really make a call because I haven't seen the data on that. But even though like the majority of traffic is mobile, depending on your avatar, the purchases and everything like that might actually be happening on a desktop version where the research is done on a mobile device. So it's something to kind of keep in mind. We want to make sure both platforms are perfectly optimized for conversion. So that's the first thing that I would do here. Having the trending products and things like that is, a lot of people do it, right? And I think because you see some of the bigger players or, hey, this company's doing that and they're a lot bigger company than I am. So that's what people kind of model their websites and stuff after. And that can be good, right, to do that. But it also could be bad because sometimes those companies have completely different goals. They have completely different direction which they want to deliver to their customers. And so they're going to model their website based on their goals and the level that their company's at. So it may not be the best thing to do when you're a smaller company. I don't know the revenues for Northwest retention, but I can guess that $500,000 a year ish is kind of the impression I get from the website, which is good. And if retention, if they come back and say, oh, you're completely wrong, that's fine, because I don't really know, right? I don't know what they're making, but from what I'm seeing here, that's probably what I would guess. What I would do instead of putting your top sellers here is I would put a headline that tells exactly what the company does, and then with a call to action for the next step, right? So with the retention systems, you could have something like custom made holsters for, whatever avatar, right? Insert avatar there. Custom made retention systems for, military and first responders, for example, for concealed carry, right? The best retention systems for concealed carry, holders or whatever, something like that, right? And then say something where if you wanted to showcase your bestseller being like view bestsellers, that would be the call to action. But it's very simple, right? And then you can use a lifestyle image as kind of like your background to showcase those holsters and stuff actually being in use. So they can kind of immediately see what it does. They can see a picture of what it looks like on the body and how it's being utilized with a call to action for the next steps. So if you look at this can be considered one call to action, right? Because you're choosing options. But I think this is just for this one product, right? If I was to click on that and go to the scout, right? So that's, what if I didn't want to look at, what if I was like, because my first impression is that call to action was actually for all of it, right? To see, like, to go to more of the category page and not to that one item. And I'm wondering too what people are doing with that. And maybe the Scout is absolutely their bestseller and that's what they sell most of. I don't know. And so that could be the reason why that's like in the center, because it's easily accessible there. But I would just do one thing, right? If we have too many options here on the homepage, I would focus it down to what the company does as a whole and then the next steps that people need to take. And then as you kind of scroll here, you have, a nice photo of the holster being there. And then again, this is something very common for e-commerce to kind of put featured products and stuff in. It's okay, as it gets below the fold. Um, I don't know if this necessarily is a good thing. It'd be interesting to see the data to see if you would need new products on there. I would think having more of the featured products or best sellers on the homepage, and then that's it. You could have a new product section in which you should highlight maybe up here in the navigation. That would probably make a little more sense, because as the farther down people go to get their scrolling, the less people are going to be scrolling this far. Like a very small percentage of the people are going to be scrolling this far. And they're either going to leave or they're going bouncing to another page. So, but right here, this is kind of a weird section here. We have a broken image. So if anybody from retention, Northwest Retention, is seeing this, I look at that broken image and maybe it's the reason why this kind of looks weird. But I would definitely get it fixed. And then we kind of have the footer, which is a standard type footer. But at the very, very, very bottom, we have some of the most important things that people use to make a purchase. And that's these things, right? Free shipping, they have a lifetime warranty, and they build for hundreds of variants. So a lot of really custom things like these items should be up here. It should be up here. I would have, if you replace this with like a lifestyle image with a single headline, maybe a sub paragraph with a call to action, and then have those things right underneath that. That's where those should be, not at the bottom of the homepage. Nobody's seeing those. I'd be very, very surprised if there was a large amount of people that actually knew anything about those, right? And then if you go to the product page, none of those are being mentioned except for at the bottom. So I mean, that's okay, because as people kind of scroll down to the add to cart, they're going to see those things. But I wouldn't put them. I would put them on the homepage higher, for sure. Absolutely, and even on the product page, arguably, I might make these come up a little bit higher. I know we're kind of coming into some custom options, which makes us a little bit bigger and stuff, but maybe even putting that stuff up above, so where it's more front center, to where it's going to give a lot more weight to the purchase decision. I think conversions, it'd be interesting to test to see if the conversions go up with those a little bit higher on the page. But that's like a quick audit for them. Make those changes, and like you will see a difference in the way people interact with the site, for sure. The next site I have is the Brave experience, the jerky. I love jerky. I love, the different types. If it's natural and actually is a great source of protein and things like that. And so and it's easy because you can just put that sucker in a bag. It doesn't take up space, and it's rocking and rolling, right? But with this, it's kind of going through. The header is smaller, so this is like a better example of how big a header should be, like kind of max. I actually think this is a little bit too big as well. I would make this logo a little bit smaller so we can maybe bring the header up a bit, right? To make this a little bit smaller, to give more heed to this. And so this is just an image, right? It's cool, it showcases some of the different flavors of jerky and stuff, which is cool. So it's a great image. I would, depending upon like the avatar, I would change this image to be somebody that is like eating it, has it in their hands, and they're smiling. We want to deliver upon the after state of where these people need to envision themselves. So you have somebody where it's like your avatar, where it's male or female, and they have the jerky in their hand, maybe holding the package where you can see the beautiful packaging and stuff, because this packaging really is great. Eating it with a smile on their face is one thing I would do. And then I put the headline, something along the lines of 100% all natural beef Angus jerky, made here in the USA or whatever. Shop now. something along the lines of that, right? You want to just put the bottom line up front, what it is that you're doing, what it is that your company does, with a call to action. What's the next step you want people to take? Because the majority of people, they're going to land here, and very, very small amount of people are actually going to scroll and see all this other stuff, right? So we have the call to action. I had to scroll like twice to see this call to action. It's a big mistake, big mistake. Leave that call to action there, but I would put another call to action right here with a headline that is telling people what it is you're doing and what the next steps you want people to take. So, Brave experience. If you watch this, do that. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We're more than happy to kind of help with the guidance on that. And then as you kind of go through, I like this. This is really cool. It's kind of like a little about us type section where, we're talking about where some of the proceeds of all the purchases go to a great cause, America's Heroes, which is awesome. That's something to definitely highlight. I think it's in a good spot. American, see this, like that headline, something along the lines of that needs to be at the top, like at the very top, and just put grass-fed Angus beef jerky, and you put like the best, 100% American raised grass-fed Angus beef jerky. Buy yours today, or something like that, right? Is the call to action. Shop our flavor selection, something that kind of takes people to the next step to the shopping things. But definitely display the experience that people are going to have. Showcase in an image the experience people are going to have when they put that jerky in their mouth. And it should be just amazing. A big old smile on their face, right? And then down here we have this subscribe to the newsletter. I like this. This is very common for people to put this at the very, very bottom. Nobody's going to see this. Very, very small amount of people are going to see this. And so what I would do, let me see if it doesn't do that. So what I would do is I know a lot of people don't like pop-ups or anything like that. But even if you created a pop-up where if somebody spent like 15 seconds on the site, then it pops up, or if they scroll down to a certain point on the site, then it pops up, something like that, so it's non-invasive. You can also have some that kind of just pop up in the corner or on the bottom, something along the lines of that, so that people actually see it, so you can get some results. The other thing is, like, subscribe to our newsletter is a terrible headline for that. You need to give people a legitimate reason why they want to be involved with the company, right? Be very, very specific when you're doing that. You could, whatever it is, right? Your jerky guide, download our beef jerky guide or something like that, right? Whatever it is that you want to come up with that, so people have a reason that's going to benefit their life, because subscribing to the newsletter, just saying that is not really, it sounds like you're just going to sell me, or send a whole bunch of just sales emails, which some people may opt in for. A lot of people probably won't, right? But your conversion rate will, if you get very specific and give people a great reason and value for doing that. So that's kind of like the audit for that. Is this helpful? Those of you that are on, I'm hoping that it's helpful. I'm hoping that it's kind of like a little education experience. And if you have a website, or if you have something of your own, you can kind of take that approach a little bit, just with your homepage, and the amount of conversions that you'll get, your conversion rate will go up. I've done this for so long, and I've done structured different homepages and websites certain ways, and we do it in a certain way because it works, and the conversions happen, right? Alyssa, so this question: would that shop Brave in the navigation be considered a call to action? You could. The shop Brave could be confusing, though. And to be honest, I didn't even pay too much attention to the navigation. And I'd be surprised. So shop now, it could be, yeah, you could consider that like a call to action, right? But it's something that I would definitely look at and really audit to see if that's the best way you could pose that. Shop now might be a better call to action, and that would probably be helpful there for conversions. Yeah, Laura. Yeah, you might. I've actually had these. So we went down to the show and actually did have a taste of this stuff, and it is actually like really good. It is pretty good. So. Alyssa, are there better call to actions that work better than others, or is it just shop now? Okay, shop now is okay, depending upon the site and all that. I would. It just depends on the product too, right? Get started. Apply now. Like it has to be kind of congruent in with like the product and what you're selling. For most e-commerce stores, like shop now is going to be, very, 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 very common. It's really, at the end of the day, might be all that you need. But something, if you had a button here where you could kind of get a little, fresh with it, I would say, and you can just say, shop our wide selection of jerky today, or buy the best jerky on planet Earth. Something like that. You can kind of play with the words on that kind of stuff. It'll make it stand out a little bit. And that's really the name of the game, is you want that call to action to be like, you want their eyes to go directly to it, right? And so something that can kind of catch their attention, make them laugh a little bit, will go a long way with people. And that kind of bleeds into like the culture of the company and like how they want to present themselves as a brand, things like that too. How much time we got? All right, we do have time for this last audit here. So this is a little different product. The knives. The cool thing or the hard thing with products like this is it's very difficult to run ads, digital ads, like on Facebook and Google and all that, because they consider this like a weapon. So you have to be a little more strategic in what you do. And that's why your website is so much more important, because the avenues that you have to market this stuff, like you can't just upload your product catalog to Google or to Facebook, and have people check out, or just find the product that way to go directly to the product page. But so the homepage, the website is extremely important. It's way more important, because the avenues are limited, right? And so if you're doing a PR push, or like going to a show, something like that, like if you go to a lot of expos, these guys probably hit a ton of expos, probably a big part of what they do, and then referrals and all that kind of stuff. But you want those people, they may not buy at the show, they may not buy immediately, they're going to want to come to your website after. And if your website is confusing and it's hard to navigate and like all that stuff, your conversions on it are going to be not that great, right? And these guys might be at a spot where it's like, hey, yeah, we're doing great as a company, stuff like that. But I would argue that their website probably isn't converting as well as they would like. So give you a little bit of tips here. This is very, very common, what I talked about on the others. We have their header is a lot smaller, which is great. I'd put their social media icons more in the corner here. And this box, I think that's just because that's the page we're on, right? It's highlighting the page we're on. I would try to move that to where you have the box around a call to action that you want to stand out. And then again here, this logo, put it where these words are. There's no reason why this logo needs to be here. Make it smaller. I know a lot of people are really proud of their company, they're really proud of their logos and stuff, but it really doesn't need to be that big and in your face. It's actually distracting of what you want people to do, right? Because you want people to buy the knives, not just stare at the logo. Yeah, and Alyssa brings up a great point here. So um, it it makes, with this background image, it makes it really hard to read. And I did have to look for this. Didn't see this immediately. There's only one way to test the best. If that's your headline, that's cool. Let's put in like an opaque black thing over the background, so it kind of fades the background into the back, and put that headline up here with a call to action that says "Shop now" or build your knife to let's get started on building your knife today, or something along those lines, right? And then obviously we have some images, image slider here. These are cool. I would display these because it's going to take some loading time to load and all that kind of stuff. I would just handpick a number. If you're automatically loading these up from Facebook or other social media stuff, I would just make it to where it's in more of a grid format and just limit the amount of images that it's loading, because it's going to load all of these images, which is going to suck the loading time of the site, which is terrible for SEO and it's terrible for conversion, right? And then you come down to the bottom. There's legitimately no call to action on this page. You can argue that, yeah, we have some call to actions up here, like book a survival class. Guys, extinct, extreme instinct. We got a lot of work to do with this. Putting a headline with a call to action, that's the only thing that you did, and a headline that people could read with a call to action, your conversion rate is going to go up. It's going to increase. Now, the other thing I noticed, this is probably just because I'm trained to do this, but you notice up here it says not secure. Your website is not secure. That's a terrible thing for SEO, but it's also a bad thing. If you're wanting people to check out on your website, having a non-secure website is not a good thing to do. So I'm going to put in the HTTPS just to see if there is a secure version of the site, and there's not. This is a bad thing. This is very bad. This is the first thing that I would change, is make sure that you have a proper SSL on your website. Because having a secure connection, especially if you're asking for payment information or collecting any kind of information whatsoever from people, even if you're not, Google, Facebook, all those companies are coming down pretty hard. You'd be, even if you don't have a secure website, even doing a PR push and stuff like that, some companies are just not going to do it if you don't have your secure website, because then that falls back on them and they become somewhat liable to a certain degree. And so that's the first thing that you want to do, is make sure you have a secure website, and then make the background. You can keep the image there. It's fine. I'll do more of a lifestyle image of somebody holding the knife, or maybe have it put in the sheath on their belt or whatever, and then put that call to action. You could put this, just make this like an H1. It's a headline one, just in a big headline here with a call to action. Shop your knives today. Shop our knives today. Something like that. You're going to have a better conversion rate for it. I have a lot more that you could do with this, but that's kind of some of the basic things that will you'll see an immediate difference in that. I wondered here if we have, it's still not a custom, it's still not secure. I go to view product, still not secure. So this is the shopping cart now that we're in. You don't have a secure website there. That is a bad thing. So with that, any other questions? It's super cool that they're featured on Naked and Afraid. Absolutely. And they could, Alyssa has like an awesome suggestion here. Like, you could, I didn't see that anywhere on the website, but maybe I just missed it. Veteran owned and All American. That's great. I just barely saw that. Nowhere on the homepage that I seen where it showcases that. Maybe in the image here. Oh yeah, here it is. the custom, the Naked and Not Afraid. So they have that version of the knife and all that kind of stuff. Guys, I would play on that. You could probably do so much fun with that, just creating content and all that kind of stuff. Um, there's showcase that you were on that movie. It's going to have an immediate. People are going to meet. The trust factor is going to immediately be there for people that you were on that show. That's a big deal, right? You can be like as seen on Naked and Naked and Afraid, or like whatever, right? However it is that you can make that legitimate. It is hidden in the slider. Oh, right here. Okay. Yeah, we got to do a better job on that. Your sales you're probably doing great on sales because of that. People know you from that, maybe, and you're probably, I know you're doing expos and stuff like that. I would plan that a little bit more. There was a company that they make archery targets, and they were featured by Joe Rogan, and they have that right on the homepage, all front and center and everything like that. And there's the sole reason why they are having as much success is only because of that. They're like, we can't do any marketing whatsoever because we can't even keep up with the demand we have now. We got Joe Rogan backing us, and that's all we need right now. And it's like, okay, that's great. You should still do marketing, right? Because that will fade out over time. They're probably like, we'll deal with that when the time comes, so to speak. Or it is what it is. But for this, there's a lot we can do. There's a lot that you can do to improve the conversion of this website for sure. If you have any questions, reach out to us. I'm curious, with those audits and stuff, what do you guys think? I want to hear some feedback. If you like it, share it. If you feel like it'll help somebody tag anybody. If you feel like somebody that should use this to review their website, or if you want us to do a website audit, we'll do it completely free here at Blaze. And so, any feedback, anything that you want to see more of, or maybe less of, maybe I just need to talk less. I don't know. But with that, so if there's no other comments aside that, even if you're watching this when it's not live, feel free to drop it in, tag us, so then we'll come back, we'll respond, we'll get with you, DM us, email us at support@blazedigitalsolutions.com. You can always send us a text as well at our corporate number. You can find that on our website, because I don't actually know it by heart, so I have to look it up. Cool. Yeah. Thank you, Alyssa. So she thinks it's good stuff. A lot of little nuggets in there. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going for. So delivering, even just if it's the one idea, that'll make a world of difference. And a lot of the times, a lot of these conversion things you can change for conversions are fairly simple things that you can implement quickly to see an immediate effect, positive effect. Nice. Thank you, Stacy. I love it. We'll definitely keep rolling with it. And this is something that people should be doing. They should be auditing your website. Yeah, I agree, Stacey. Every company it applies to. Absolutely. Doesn't matter industry, whatever. There's always stuff that you can do to improve what you're currently doing. And when you're going in and you're making a plan for 2022, doing a full website audit to making sure that you have the best chance for conversion is something that you should be doing every single year, maybe every single quarter, depending on the plans and the strategies that you have put together for each quarter, right? And so definitely, if you want us to kind of help with that, reach out and we'd be happy to do that for you. But make a plan for 2022 if you haven't. If you'd like to talk to us a little bit about helping you make a plan, let us know. And I'm just going to cut it from here. appreciate everybody jumping on, spending your time with me. These lives are getting more and more fun as they go, and so